Talking We Built This City, we are now talking to Mr. Frank Palangi over in New York. How are you, Frank?
What's going on, man? What's going on today?
It's good, isn't it? It's good. It's amazing. I've spoken to Australia today, and now I'm speaking to New York. From my humble little studio here in Plymouth. Not so sunny now. So what time have you got over there at the moment? It's about 1:30 or something like that?
It's about 1:30. It's about 70 out here today.
Nice. Well, I say we're 6:30 and getting dark. Yeah, getting dark.
Oh, okay.
So I think best things. I mean, I've been listening to your music for a little while now. Since I've got two lots of people telling me all about you now. But so I've been listening for a little while, and I guess you could tell my listeners a bit about what you're up to and who you are.
Well, I'm a rock artist, mostly from New York. I can hear my voice in the
I'm just going to turn that down a little bit, actually, yeah. How's that?
All right. Yeah, it's a lot better.
Okay.
It's hard to think. Yeah, I'm from New York. I've been doing music for, 10, 12 years full time, but, I've been playing guitar for 20 years. And besides that, I've got 4 EPs out, a couple side singles, music videos, all that good stuff. And, I just haven't stopped, as I say, no plan B. So I've been doing it for living here for a little while, and things, it's like anything. You start off at one point and hopefully you get up to the step where you want to. And things are getting pretty good, even though the COVID hit, around here, and everything turned to digital basically. Yeah. So that was interesting, but I was kind of used to it because I do all the stuff myself between social media and all the digital.
I was going to say you're a multi-instrumentalist, aren't you? I mean, so I guess this is the time for those that can do the whole lot themselves. This is your moment, if you like.
Yeah. I mean, I started that because I had a band a while ago, and things didn't work out, and one guy kept giving me excuses and yada. I go, you know what? I go, that's fine. I go, I'm going to take this serious. I'll write everything. I'll do everything. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So, I mean, right now it's really nice. I outsource the drums, right. But I do everything else,
Cool. I mean, I was going to say on your bio that was sent through a while back, you've got quite a list of people who you work through. Did you work as a hired gun as well, or you do a bit of session? Is it a lot of session musician as well, or is it?
I have for local artists, yeah. On my stuff, I've worked with members from Day of Fire, Pillar, Daughtry, and Candlebox and Hole. Robin Diaz was that drummer. Brian Craddock. Brandon from Daughtry, the whole band of Day of Fire, and 2 guys from Pillar, Christian rock band. But Lester, the guy that I've been using for drums mostly for the past, since like 2012, he's Kelly Clarkson's drummer.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, he's really good.
Cool. So, Frank, who are your biggest influences then in your music and your writing? Because I would say that you are quite diverse, aren't you, in the way you write? It's not just straight rock and roll, is it? You do like, I mean, I think you call yourself indie rock, don't you? Is that sort of the label you've kind of attached to yourself?
A little bit. That's mostly you're not signed to something basically, which is
I suppose yeah. In my mind, indie always, I don't know. It's a certain style of music. So certainly in the UK, that in my brain they go, oh, that's indie.
Okay.
I suppose the only American band that sort of falls into that I could think off the top of my head is Killers, that sort of thing. They would be classed as indie over here because they're quite a British sound from American band. But I
kind of think of that when I think of indie. I think of alternative rock or something, but not like, my influences are from Metallica and Ozzy and Megadeth and a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
But there's the 90s with Creed, and then there's Godsmack, and then you jump to 3 Days Grace and Daughtry, and I love Hinder. I love Power Man 5000. I like kind of like the movie soundtrack stuff from Halloween and John Carpenter stuff, Terminator. So there's a film background that I have too. So
nice.
it's definitely mixed, but even bands like Goo Goo Dolls, I mean, I do songs that are kind of like, I wouldn't say as light as a Goo Goo Doll, but I would say more along like a Daughtry. And then I jump to, hard rock, little metal, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you look quite young. I've seen, obviously, watching your videos and watching that. You seem quite young, but your voice, when I first listened to your music before I knew what you looked like, I would have put you down as an older person. Does that make sense? I think you've got an older person's vocal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's because of the deeper voice and that kind of stuff. And a lot of people say when they see me, they're like, I wasn't expecting you for the voice, that sort of thing.
No, I think that was ideal. I think that's what I said politely.
Yeah, pretty much. It's more blunt over here. Who are you?
You are, yeah. Who do you think you are?
Get out now.
So do you have a touring band then? I mean, obviously I've seen that you've opened for lots of people. Do you have a touring band? Is it the same as that you record with when you're doing the full band stuff?
The band guys that I usually... Oh, no, I mean, I've done everything, to be honest. I've done acoustic. I've done acoustic with a distortion pedal to tracks behind me. I've done electric to tracks. I've done a 2-piece, a 3-piece, a 4-piece. Depends on the situation, the show, and who's playing with me at the time, because I haven't met anybody else in the area that does it full time. So there's nobody that I can say like he is my set, live drummer, that sort of thing. It depends on their schedules and their work and all that stuff. So in that sense, it definitely is hard because, it would be nice to have a few other musicians maybe that do it for a living. That's like, I can go off and tour, for a couple of weeks and come back. And a lot of people, they can't because they got jobs and all that stuff. Yeah. So, you never know who I'm playing with. Put it that way.
So, I mean, I guess I did write myself a list of questions in preparation, but I'm going to kind of jump ahead because we kind of headed into one. I don't know if you've heard over here, our Chancellor of the Exchequer, that's the guy that does the money in our government, has suggested that if your job has become unviable, you must retrain and do something else. And he was primarily aiming that at the music and arts industry. It's like, well, you can't do gigs and you can't really go spend too much time inside a recording studio either. And so go find another job because we're not going to help you type thing. So if your government, we're not to say too much about them, but if your government were to say the same, what would you do as a career away from music then? If you're, is
film,
it say you're
full
time? Yeah, film. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably move over to film, which is not that much better either.
I was going to say it's all slowed down a little bit.
Oh, a lot. Yeah. I mean, they're not casting for anything right now.
Right.
I've been doing stuff I can on my own. I mean, I went out and bought a camera and stuff like that and been trying to get into things. And I'm actually doing my own music video for Bring On the Fear.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of reverted to that, it's your one man production show going on. And, but that's what I don't know. I would film. I always teach too. I mean, there'd always be music teaching positions probably,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And my son is a up and coming musician. He's what is he? 16 years old. He's just finished what you would call high school, I guess, and he's gone to college and he's gone to a music college. So he's studying music production and so on. But
cool.
At this precise moment in time, I fear for him because he's kind of put all his eggs in one basket. Do you know what I mean? And it's like he wants to be a musician. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He plays drums, he plays guitar, he plays bass, he plays a little bit of piano and so on. And he's in a band. He's in a rock band. And and I think, and yes, we've got music out there, but obviously with the streaming world, well, he's had a single out. Okay, he's not had the backing of anyone else. It's just self-released, and it's earned him $5.38 to share between 5 of them.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And obviously they are just starting out, and they are luckily now they're in the studio. But what advice would you give to anyone in this situation at the moment in the world we're in right now for budding musicians, I guess?
I can just give you my example. I've had to branch out. I mean, the past 2 years, I was just playing out pretty much for maybe the first 7 to 8 years or so, and still selling music and things. But like you said, that only goes so far, and with the streams and all that, you can't make a living off of it unless somehow it booms.
Yeah.
But I branched out to guitar lessons, to acting on the side, the mixing and the recording, and the studio side of things.
Yeah.
So there's areas that like he could go to. If he can do all of that, you could be hired gun, session musician.
Yeah.
You could make profiles and stuff online. Like there's these websites where people can just hire you,
Yeah.
so you could make all that look pretty and stuff, and then hopefully get some stuff that way. And it's funny though, it's all slow until it starts to move.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it,
Like
but
a
there's
snowball.
a certain thing. Yeah, it's like it's like anything. I would say if you made a profile on one of the websites, it would take a while because they want the top reviews and stuff like that and whatever. But if you end up being one of the top sellers after, if you got 50 or so gigs, then you really, really see instead of once in a while, this is becoming a full part-time thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's lucky. He's got a job. He's got a job in a restaurant, which obviously is another industry over here at the moment is really suffering with the whole coronavirus thing. I mean, luckily,
same over here.
Yeah, he's actually working in an American restaurant in the UK that does scratch American food. It's absolutely amazing. But
okay.
he's learning some good skills. But he's at college, and as I say, he's pretty like you said. He's primarily a guitarist and a drummer, and he's definitely into rock and metal. I brought him up well. But
it's the only way to go.
Exactly. But to be honest with you, he's been playing some really good music, creating music in his own little studio that is totally different. And I remember listening to one piece and thinking, that's a TV theme tune, so and it's getting that out, I guess.
License your songs and stuff. Yeah,
exactly. So anyway, it's not about him and not about let's talk about you see. So what was I got to? Oh yeah, I was just just before we came on air, I was saying about your videos. You really seem to have embraced the social media in a massive way. I mean, you got your Instagram interviews, which are fun to watch. I've got to be honest with you. I've watched a few of them now. I watched the Brian Craddock one.
Oh yeah.
And so, what was that? Just something for you to do, or was it? How did you start that out? Doing that?
I was bored.
Fair enough.
Pretty much. I just figured I go, you know what? I've, through the people I know, maybe I can reach out to some people that I don't know. Let me start to have these, I don't call them interviews. They're kind of more sit down chats and stuff.
And let people watch.
Yeah, because a lot of them tell me, they hate the cut and dry interviews and yada, yada. So I go, this is going to be something a little different. I go, because some of them I already have a relationship with, so I can talk to them different than me interviewing, the singer of, Metallica or something like that. It's nice. And then whatever comes to mind, if you notice, we go off and talk about random things too. Totally. I think we were talking about like superhero stuff and whatever. And, that's what, and all of a sudden that just after, I started getting people from The Voice and American Idol and a couple other bands. And then now I'm doing it for the New York State Magazine. Nice. So we're getting, some local artists and some bigger artists and stuff that are in the state that pass through the state. And, so it's kind of turned into a little bit of a side job in a way. And then maybe, who knows, that'll turn into something else. It's kind of
have your own chat show.
I don't know. Yeah, the online Tonight Show.
I think there's a lot of people out there trying to do that sort of thing. So it's fantastic. I mean, it's a good watch. It's lots of energy. And
thanks. Well, I think what's a little different, it's artist on artist too. That's interesting.
Yeah, I saw. Let me get my. I didn't write this down because you just made me think of it. There's another singer from Wolf. Oh, goodness me. I remember I can't remember, what band was it? Anyway, there was, I saw another artist on artist interviewing the lead singer from the Struts, and that was a cracking interview as well. Yeah, brilliant. When on one of your interviews, one of the videos you did, you were asked about the pictures and stuff that were on your wall, and one of them you said was from Like a Storm.
Yeah,
pictures on your walls. Is that the New Zealand band? Like a Storm. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. I met them, and they signed the poster, and then a couple years later, we actually we played a festival together. They played later in the day, and I was the first one to open up.
I saw them supporting Alter Bridge and it was Alter Bridge, Volbeat, and Gajira, and then they opened for it. I mean, the didgeridoo in metal. I was blown away. But so, if they brought in their indigenous instruments, would you look? Well, are there any indigenous instruments over there that you would bring into your music?
Yeah, I mean, it would be possible. I think because I don't play them, or I don't really know anybody that does that. I haven't done it yet, but I'm sure I could fit it in there. Some things go better with acoustic, some things go better with electric. For me, my mind works where even if it's I don't know, take like a violin or something. Or a harp, and you turn that into a like scary instrument, you know what I'm saying, or something that you just throw on distortion or pedals or something over it and add like this, I don't know, make it so it's basically, if somebody listens to it, they're like, what the heck is that? But acoustic, it's nice to have the realness of those instruments,
Definitely. I'd say I was blown away. It was I've never seen anyone play didgeridoo live at a metal concert before. It was So did you get to know the guys while you were with them? So they didn't show you how to play it then? You didn't give it a go?
No. I didn't meet them that day. I don't know where they were at.
Shame.
I didn't actually see. I only saw them on stage. There was two main stages. I was at the one. I mean, it's probably a mile apart too. So I think they stuck on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I just saw that bit and I thought, I know about them.
Yeah, they were good. I'm friends with the three brothers on Facebook. Yeah. And I remember I seen them at a small club, I think with Alter Bridge. This was 2011 or 12, or I think it was 2012. And I really liked the style and stuff like that. I thought it was really different.
Definitely. And so have you got any plans? Obviously, we can't at the moment, but look into the future of coming over to the UK at all?
I don't know. I've never been over there my whole life.
Wow.
I don't want to say never, but who knows? I mean, it's hard enough just trying to get around the U.S. Yeah. I mean, that's why I always say I just play the Northeast, going down to Florida and back. Sometimes, it's the funding and it's the shows, and then it's the old, how many tickets can you sell? That sort of thing. Yeah. And it some things, I'm going to say this, some things need to change about the industry. It's like some of the bands and stuff, they need help, The ones that you say, man, they sound amazing. Like all they would need is to be on tour with, Like a Storm and Alter Bridge, and that would help them out so much. Yeah. But they don't really have the reach, but they sound like a band that's been around and the recordings are top notch. Give them a shot, work out some sort of a deal. Don't worry about the ticket thing. You know what I mean? Yeah,
absolutely. And, I thought that was the whole point of support bands.
That was maybe in the 80s, not anymore.
I'm one of those guys that always turns up to watch a support band. I've got one of my biggest regrets of the whole world is that I went backstage at a Rainbow concert, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, back in 1981. And the support band were lined up at the back to meet us, and I just wanted to meet Richie Blackmore, so I walked straight past them. They were Def Leppard.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Be like, this little band, who knows?
I ghosted Def Leppard when I was 16 years old.
I met Rick Allen when I was DJing at a skating rink. He was playing a huge concert town over, and he brought his family roller skating.
Awesome.
And he walked in, and I instantly knew that it was Rick Allen. And the thing is I was playing Pour Some Sugar on Me before he walked in, as he walked in, and I had no idea.
That is mad. That's mad.
That's weird.
That is weird. Really weird.
Yeah.
So music-wise, obviously you have an EP, which is the Bring On The Fear EP.
Yep.
What was your inspiration behind the writing of Bring On The Fear?
It's changed. I wrote it before the COVID stuff, and now it kind of fits in 100% with just everything that's been going on. You have the song Gone Mad, and that fits in pretty well. Some people in the societies everywhere going a little mad. But Bring On The Fear, it's originally about turning hate into faith, and it's kind of changed into the more of the COVID thing of let's face our fears together. Let's try to get over this thing. So I'm trying to incorporate that, into the music video I'm doing, even though it wasn't written that way. But it is a subject where, Gone Mad for me is about all the bands have done the rigged, talent show contests and stuff like that. They've done the ones that Battle of Bands where whoever sells the most tickets, once again, automatically wins. They don't care what they sound like, or the niece of the judge wins because she has a connection, that sort of thing. So that is a stab. That and the Set Me Free record are stabs a little bit at the industry.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
I get that. No, I totally get that. I've been a judge on a metal contest. But we managed to get around that because it really was a case of that, it was how many fans you brought, because half the vote would go with a token. Everyone that came in had a token, and they would put their votes in a bucket for each band. But then also there were 4 judges. And,
okay.
And the 4 judges basically would even that up. Pretty much, because it was not. It couldn't be just about who brought the most fans, because that's not fair. Because especially if a band has travelled, so you'd have a local band that would do really well because they got a local following, and then you'd have a band that maybe travelled 50 miles and wouldn't necessarily bring all the fans with them. We had the 4 judges that actually took no influence from anyone else other than their own ears, if you like, and eyes. Yeah. So it kind
and a little bit, I don't know if you think about the reality shows and stuff like that, but a little bit is a stab at the, those shows out there, the talent shows.
Yeah. Mr. SC. Yeah. Simon Cowell. We won't mention him. Yeah.
The contracts, sign your life away.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But the EP is heavier than your previous work, would you say?
Yeah, that wasn't really the goal, but I guess after Set Me Free stuff, it just came out that way, which is cool. Because I usually have some sort of clean song, on there, like a Daughtry-esque style. And Set Me Free record was the first one I did, and this one's got Virginia, but to me it reminds me a little bit of Hinder and that kind of style. But yeah, definitely. Gone Mad too is trying to think. I was thinking like Rob Zombie, Power Man mixed with like I want to say a little bit of like Godsmack, but it's angry. I was just angry.
Fair enough. So I'm just trying to see if I've got it there. I will play that song for you in a second. I'm just loading Gone Mad into the system. We will play that in a second. Go. Yeah. Actually, should we play that now? If you've spoken about it, should we give it a little play and then we'll have a little bit of a chat afterwards? What do you think?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Let's get it going. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frank Palangi and Gone Mad. Go!
TV screen, hypnotized by the modern fad, was a child gone all mad. Bring on the fear, I wanna scream. Does it ever seem? With the dance thinking how we can be, living thrill of your show. Forced to feed on every vote. Rigged to say that it's so close. Can't be the thing that's by the soul. Bring on the fear. Make it clear. Does it ever save? We're the best thinking how we can be. Living lives that's my crime. It's all this truth telling gone mad. The truth lies and crying.
Okay, there you go. That was example of Frank's music that was gone mad, and so we're back on air talking. We were just talking off air about the new wave of classic rock. It's a Facebook group which started. I think it's now nearly 3 years old. I think we've been going 3 years. I think so. I think it's October 2017 it started with a few members. I don't know what they last looked at. It's about 16,000 members now. And
Oh, geez.
yeah. And it's grown. It started here in the UK and it's grown. It's definitely worth being on board with. It's helping new music really have a platform, if you like. It's for bands that formed after 2010 that are playing music pretty much in the style of the 80s and 90s and that sort of stuff, and it really does. It's really improved the live circuit in the UK until COVID hit. It really, really has, and it's definitely, honestly, it's worth getting on board with that. I'm sure we played some. I'm sure I've tagged you in on something on there, or I've put some of your music on there.
So. Or shoot me the link again. Make sure I got it.
I'll do that.
I've heard a couple bands like that in that style that I'm like, they sound like AC/DC rock, or they sound like trying to think like a Pantera sort of Metallica-ish,
Yeah, a lot of these are heading that. The music that's coming out of the UK at the moment is kind of it's sort of bluesy rock. But what they've done is they've taken the classic rock and added that modern edge to it. So it's a little bit heavier. It's got a bit more grunge to the sound, which I think that's why that's why I play your music, because you've got that edge. You've got that grunge edge as well to your music.
Yeah, it's 90s for sure. It's got that little 90s. I don't know what it is, but it could be a little bit too in the way the style, the recordings and stuff are. I don't like them, 100% polished like you hear like some of the bands where it kind of sounds fake.
Yeah, so your old school garage band style.
Yeah, I think my guitar tone and stuff just kind of comes from that too. The way I play. I mean, there's Metallica's metal, but in the way that I play in my style, when I kind of transfer that sound to that's what you get right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Post grunge. I don't know what you want to call it.
Yeah, post grunge. I don't think it's. I mean, at the end of the day, you either like it or you don't you? Does there have to be a label? I mean, I'm not the big. I don't know a lot about Daughtry. I know one of my friends is a massive fan and met them when they were over here. Are they a bit more? Are they more leaning to the country rock side? Is that? Would I be right in that? Is that? Oh, I got that wrong.
They're just straightforward rock, and pop rock too. Pop rock, yeah.
Because I mean, one of the bands that's doing quite well in America is a band called Dirty Honey. As I say, it's been picked up from America, shall I say? Dirty is Dirty Honey. That's one of the bands that seems to be branded around the new wave of classic rock from the UK, US. So, and your good self,
I heard
you
them
are being played over here.
Yeah, I actually hooked up with a new radio guy and plug, promote, and play. And Duncan, he's a radio DJ himself, but we've been pushing the 3 singles over there in Canada. You mentioned something about South Africa and I think Australia.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy from Australia earlier today, and he was saying that they were struggling exactly the same. It's just the rock is still underground over there, and they are struggling to break out of Australia, break Australia. It's almost they have to find that they have to break the UK and Europe and America first before anyone in Australia will actually listen to them.
Yeah, I know, like, give you an example, like our campaign that we've done, I mean, the U.S. plays are like nothing because it's impossible to be played on FM or Sirius or whatever. I mean, you'd have to, I don't know, a lot of the stuff I think is paid off or it's you have to be signed, which that's something I'm not either.
Yeah.
And, it seems like, the internet and then you guys over there, even the AM and the FM, they will play what they like, which is kind of old school. And it seems like that you guys still like the styles that, came 10, 20, 30 years ago where for some reason America's just like, I don't know, just bring on the next digital crap.
Oh. No,
Who knows?
Well, I think what's happening over here is there's a bit of a little revolution going on in the background, and definitely I get on board because the revolution is that I guess the people that are listening to the new bands that are bringing music out are still the people that were around in the 80s, if you like, finally learning that there is new music out there that you can like, and I think, and also I think. I'm speaking on my side, if you like. I've went years of just listening to the same music over and over again. I would listen to Dio and listen to Black Sabbath and Saxon, Maiden, and all that sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden, I discovered this new wave classic rock thing, and that I'm learning bands. And the thing is, I'm making friends with these bands and we're going to their gigs and. Do you know what? I'd rather go to a small band gig now than go and spend 70 quid to go and watch Iron Maiden play from 2 miles away.
Exactly.
And I've probably been to more gigs in the last 2 years than I have for the rest of my life, I think. And I think that's what's happening over here until COVID hit. And then it's all come to a grinding halt. But we're still trying to find ways over here. And how are you guys? How are you coping with that over there at the moment? I mean, obviously you've got a president that's in denial, but how are you coping on the scene? Are you actually able to get out and perform, or are you literally having to rely on the internet still?
Yeah, just internet. In the north, you can't do anything here. In the south, they've been having little shows and stuff, but you can't all here. I mean, if you wanted to play a cover gig at a bowling alley. Or maybe an outside bar or something like that. Yes, but there's no events. There's no, and then they actually they had a few events, right, and it brought in overcapacity for the quarter capacity that you're allowed, and they actually sued the artist for it.
Wow.
So I'm like, I ain't getting into that.
No.
So no, it's been awesome because I actually didn't feel like playing out this year as much. And I go, this has been like a very nice rest.
Yeah. It's a creative year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the online stuff. I don't mind the live streams and all that thing. But it's I'm happy in the studio. I mean, maybe if I didn't have the studio, yeah, I'd be really itching to play out. But I could live in the studio every day. So
wow. So what's next for you? We got more music.
Well, we got the Bring On the Fear, the music video. I'll be doing that. No release date yet, but I hopefully release it maybe December, January, somewhere in there. See how fast I can get it done.
Yeah.
And then there's a new single for next year already finished.
Cool.
That'll be out sometime, and some kind of more of the webcam performances. The videos on YouTube and more interviews, live stuff. Less guitar lesson. Everybody out there, anywhere in the world, I could teach digitally. So if you ever, even if you don't know anything about guitar, feel free to hit me up. I like to start with all the basic skills and stuff like that. I don't like to go right into songs and all those crazy things. You got to start slow, build the old technique up.
I've watched my son grow with his music lessons, and I remember when he first started, when he was I think 6 or 7 years old, and all he did was teach him how to play songs, and that it frustrated me because my wife is a musician, and he got to the age of about 11, and he still couldn't read music. He still didn't understand the theory. Now he's got a fantastic guitar teacher, and they only do theory, so they don't play songs.
Yeah,
which
you sound a lot like me. That's how I was. I learned by ear too.
Yeah,
and I took 6 months of classical, and I go screw this. I gotta learn Metallica or something. So but yeah, that when we were doing lessons, they would just show me like riffs and things, and scale or two. But I didn't understand what the heck any of it was.
yeah, definitely. He talks a totally different language to me. I have not got a clue what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But the beauty is if you learn the theory, you can then be creative with it, and that's the point. If you only learn other people's songs, you'll only ever play other people's songs. But if you learn the theory behind the music, then you can create your own sound, your own things.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not limited to I only play Rat and Def Leppard style guitar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Frank, if I was to play one more of your songs, which one would you like me to play?
Bring On the Fear. Do you have that one?
Let me have a look. Please say yes. Yes, I have. There it is.
All right. That'll be the second one from the new EP, Bring On the Fear.
Fantastic. Frank, I'm going to have to say thank you very much for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. I'm going to play your song, and brilliant. I've never done interviews before. This is my first time today, but I think it's something that I might put into my show, on my normal show.
Oh yeah, you're good at it. I like it.
Thank you very much. So brilliant. So I'm going to say ta-ra to you on air, and then I'll play your song now, which is Bring On the Fear, ladies and gentlemen. Video coming out in the new year.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody. FrankPalangi.com.
Live today, die tomorrow. Rejoice with the faith carved in clay. I am ready for the fight of my life. Ain't no shovel to forge my grave. Fear digging deep and burning away. This age Put your hands in the air, buddy. I want you to sing. Bring